What's going on with Caitlin Clark? The Indiana Fever got the win over the Seattle Storm on Tuesday night in Seattle, despite a rough performance from WNBA superstar Caitlin Clark. The win over the Storm marked another difficult night shooting for Clark. Outside of the first two games she played after returning from injury, a win over the New York Liberty that saw Clark score 32 and a win over the Connecticut Sun where she put up 20, Clark has struggled with her shot, especially from three-point range. Over the last three games, Clark has only gone 1 of 23 from beyond the arc. She's also turned the ball over 22 times. So what is going on with the WNBA's marquee player? On Wednesday's edition of The Ride with JMV, the television voice of the Fever, Pat Boylan, tried to answer that very question. Debbie Antonelli made the point on our broadcast, and she didn't want to make this point too hard because she's not in her shoes, but that she felt like maybe she was just not quite 100% in terms of maybe being a little under the weather. Perhaps she is dealing with something small. What I just tend to think more than anything is just a few games where she struggled to shoot, lumped together. But other than that, over the course of the season, hopefully you're not really remembering this stretch, and I think that'll be the case. Even just early in year two, she's the last player in the WNBA that I worry about. Listen to JMB's full conversation with Pat Boylan and more down below, and tune into The Ride with JMB weekdays from 6 p.m. on 93.5/107.5 The Fan. Caitlin Clark. If you followed basketball at all in the past couple of years, her name isn't just familiar, it's impossible to ignore. The electrifying guard from the University of Iowa, who redefined college basketball scoring records, dazzling fans with her deep three-pointers, jaw-dropping passes, and fearless leadership. But now, as she transitions into the WNBA and navigates the tricky waters of professional sports stardom, many ask, what's really going on with Caitlin Clark? Is she living up to the enormous hype, facing unexpected struggles, or simply growing through the natural challenges every superstar encounters when the spotlight gets even brighter? Let's take a closer look. The meteoric rise Clark burst onto the national scene like a comet, blazing across the college basketball sky. From her very first game, she commanded attention, not just for her scoring, but for how she changed the rhythm of the game itself. With a fearless willingness to shoot from virtually anywhere on the court, paired with an uncanny court vision and timing, Caitlin became more than a player. She became a phenomenon. Her highlight reels went viral, her name lit up social media feeds, and her games routinely broke viewership records. In many ways, she became the face of women's basketball, revitalizing interest in a sport that desperately needed a fresh, charismatic star. The leap to the pros, transitioning from college to the professional ranks, is never easy. The game speeds up, the competition intensifies, and the pressure mounts exponentially. For Caitlin Clark, these realities hit immediately upon joining the Indiana Fever in the WNBA. Fans anticipated that her style would translate seamlessly to the pros, but the adjustment period proved more complex. Defenses were tougher, and opposing players had more experience disrupting her rhythm. Clark's usual explosion was somewhat contained, and the spotlight shifted from admiration to scrutiny. Suddenly, every shot, every turnover, every decision was magnified. Supporters cheered, critics questioned. The honeymoon phase was over. A star under pressure, Caitlin Clark's rookie season has been a roller coaster. There have been breathtaking games showcasing why she's considered one of the best young talents in the world. But there have also been moments of struggle, slumps, missed shots, and moments where the game seemed to get away from her. This has sparked an intense conversation around her development. Is she being handled correctly by her coaches? Is the pressure too much too soon? Are expectations, both internal and external, unrealistic? The answer isn't simple. The coaching conundrum, one major point of contention, involves the Indiana Fever's head coach, Christy Sides. Fans and analysts alike have debated whether Sides is maximizing Clark's talents or holding her back with conservative rotation and strategy. Many argue that Clark should be given more freedom to play aggressively and showcase the skills that made her a college superstar. They point to games where she was benched during critical moments, or her minutes were limited despite her ability to change the game's flow. Others suggest that Sides is focused on building a cohesive team rather than creating a one-player show. They emphasize that professional basketball is more about balance, and the coach's role is to develop the whole roster, not just one star. This tug-of-war reflects a larger challenge. balancing star power with team dynamics. A delicate dance for any coach, but especially when that star is as dazzling and young as Clark. Off the court, the weight of fame beyond basketball, Caitlin Clark has become a cultural icon. With endorsement deals, media appearances, and a massive social media following, the spotlight on her life extends far beyond the hardwood. This kind of fame can be a double-edged sword. On one hand, it brings opportunity and platform. On the other, it adds layers of expectation and pressure that can be difficult for any young athlete to navigate. Clark has handled the attention with grace, but it's clear that the weight of these expectations, being not just a player but a symbol for the growth of women's sports, is enormous.